Hi, present family. One of the favorite tactics of individuals who try to manipulate you when they realize that you have now decided that you're going to take care of yourself and prioritize your well-being over the relationship that you have with them is to make you feel guilty. And they'll do this by trying to leverage the nature of the relationship. But I'm your parent, but I'm your boyfriend or girlfriend of 3 or 4 years. You're just going to walk out on me like that? I'm your spouse. How could you do this to me? How could you just walk away from everything that we have? They oftentimes will try to leverage your empathy and they'll weaponize that against you. And so you find yourself questioning, if this person is supposed to be family or, if they're supposed to be a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a spouse, then how can I just prioritize myself? And it starts to work because you're being bound by that definition that they give you of what the relationship is supposed to be. And you find yourself again drawn into a relationship that's headed nowhere. You're going around and around in circles, and you're submitting yourself once again to their pattern. And that's what you need to begin to look at. Not the person, but the pattern. So you have to make up your mind how you're going to go about letting them know. Going forward, I need to prioritize my well-being. For some people, it may be a conversation. For other people, they may just say, I need some time. And for others, it might be full on no contact. It's up to you to know what it's going to take or get some counsel or some sort of advice as to how to proceed. But at the end of the day, if you're going to prioritize your well-being, you can't continue to submit to the patterns of individuals who have no intention of changing. For many of them, they don't really have the ability outside of getting help and assistance for themselves. That's not even your responsibility for the most part. Your business is keeping yourself safe and keeping yourself healthy so that you can contribute to your own life and to the lives of those with whom you have a mutually beneficial relationship. And for a lot of us, that's hard. It depends on how we were raised. It depends on the level of therapy and healing and counseling and freeing that we need. But one thing I know for sure, and that I want you to know for sure, is that if you continue to put the person and what their title or what their role in your life is supposed to be over the patterns that they've continued to project over and over again, then you're going to continue to be in the same cycle. There's a saying that says insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. People have a habit, especially people who are manipulative and toxic, they have a habit of thinking that it's okay to drive you crazy and then ask you for gas money because they took you there. They literally will bring you to the place of breaking. And then whenever you finally get to this place where you say, no more, I can't take it anymore. And then they say, but I'm your this or I'm your that. But you need to learn how to turn it around and say, that's right, you are this or that. But this pattern is not living up to this or that. I often tell people the first thing people will say whenever you decide to care for yourself, especially in family situations, they'll say, but that's your mom, that's your dad, that's your brother, that's your sister. But they never say that to the other person. They never say, but mom, that's your daughter. How could you? Dad, that's your son. Because we see the parent as that authority figure, and many of us have been taught to never shirk authority. We've been taught it's disrespectful to do that. But what we have to learn is that these titles, these roles, we're all humans in the process of being. I don't care what your title is. I don't care who you are. Many times we sit back and we allow people to continue to make withdrawals where there has been no deposit. And we can't do that. If I go to a bank tomorrow and I say to them, I need $300, and they look and they can't find my account, they're not going to give me $300. So no matter who you are in that person's life or who they are in your life, if they come to you and they say, I demand respect, I demand visits, I demand that you continue to be in my life, I demand that you continue to show up for me, I demand the type of relationship that the title of this relationship is supposed to be. And you look into your emotional coffers, you look into that emotional bank account and you realize you've never made a deposit. I have nothing to give you. I gave you all that I could give you without you giving me something to even return. So no, there will be no withdrawal where there has been no deposit. And where I continue to see patterns of behavior, I will not continue to engage in this relationship as if this is normal and as if this is right. This pattern of behavior is what I'm going to begin to look at over the person who's sitting here telling me that they're going to be right this time and they're going to do right this time. That also brings me to this place. If you decide that you're going to take yourself out of a situation or away from a relationship to which you think you're inextricably intertwined and you're not, because there is a place and there is a point where we all just are individuals. And I don't care how often you say that that's my person or, this person belongs to me. We belong to ourselves. We belong to our creator, whatever your belief system is. I belong to no man. I may make covenants and I may make contracts and things of that nature, but at the end of the day, I am not owned by anyone and neither are you. So if you decide that you're going to pull away so that you can do better for yourself, so that you can do better by yourself, then it will be incumbent upon you to get the support and the help you need, especially if you're battling codependency. Codependent individuals are just attracted to toxic relationships. They are addicted to what does not serve them. And codependence doesn't mean that you're just always the victim. There are some things about codependent individuals that cause codependent individuals to also try to manipulate sometimes. They try to do it so that they can remain in a place where they're feeling loved without even realizing that what they're feeling is not really love. So even in that way of living your life, you're not benefiting yourself. So getting help and assistance so that you can break the pattern of dealing with a person who has a toxic pattern of behavior towards you, it's essential that you do that. So yeah, the next time they try to say to you, but I'm your this, I'm your that, I don't understand how you can just walk away. I don't understand why you're changing. This is not comfortable for me. This is not good for me. Then you need to remind yourself that it's not the person, it's the pattern of behavior. And you need to tell them that too. They'll probably have a comeback. I've been in relationships that no matter what you say, and if not, they'll just victimize themselves or roll over and try to pull on your empathy some other kind of way. I have a video called Weaponized Empathy, and it talks about the different types of empathy: cognitive empathy, compassionate empathy. Learn about what empathy is and learn that because you are an empathetic person, it does not mean that you're weak. They'll try to take your kindness for weakness, for sure. But empathy doesn't mean you're weak. It takes a lot of strength to be a person who feels deeply and who understands from a very deep and passionate place the way other people feel. Don't let people weaponize that against you, and don't continue to fall for these patterns of behavior. Some of you have been in patterns now for 20 years and are still in a situation where that person will gather their breath and come out of their face to you and say, I'm going to change. And deep down, on its face at this point that it's not true. But you deserve to be in a mutually respectful relationship where you're getting joy, where you're getting nurtured, where you're getting the benefit of the doubt on a regular basis, just for showing up and being a human being. So patterns over people when it comes to taking care of yourself. You can love, you can hold space for. It doesn't mean that that person is less of a human being, but it just means that you've gone into your logical mind and you understand that in order for this formula to change, your part of the equation is what's going to have to do it. Because they're going to keep taking and taking and taking as long as you allow them. Be present for yourself.
Sometimes when we don't know the words we hum,